Lesson 28. The Mahayana, the Buddhism of the Great Vehicle between 150 before our era and 100 after the aforesaid era is born a Buddhist movement which later will take the name of Mahayana, Great Vehicle, in Sanskrit. The Mahayana which was born in present-day India is characterized by an original philosophy carried by various schools. The philosophy of the Mahayana, Buddhism of the Great Vehicle without being a Copernican revolution before the hour, the merit of the Mahayana lies in a certain number of affirmations. The reasons of the non-revolution nature of the Mahayana. Mahayana philosophy is not ex nihilo, from nothing, in Latin, creation. The Mahayana does indeed come under the teachings of the Buddha. When we refer to the 5 periods, classification of the teachings of the Buddha operated by Jante, we see that the last 3 are devoted to the Mahayana Vipulya period, period of wisdom, period of Lotus Sutra and Nirvana Sutra. In short, the doctrine of the Mahayana did not therefore date from 150 of our era, only it asserted herself, it began to gain more independence from the Hinayana. The affirmation of the Mahayana asserts itself at 3 levels. The paradigm shift. The Bodhisattva, the new ideal. The Bodhisattva becomes the new model who no longer links his salvation only to the culture of wisdom, but also to altruism and benevolence, ji, in Japanese, karuna, in Sanskrit, empathy towards others. The Mahayana democratizes Buddhism by making it easy to access by lay people. Henceforth Buddhist practice is no longer the sole concern of monks, lay people can henceforth easily access it. Consequence, the arhat relegated to the rank of temporary expedient. The arhat, the only man, the monk is no longer an end in itself. However, an expedient which does not wait before the bodhisattva in the quest for bodhidharma. To mark this decline, the Buddhist currents still attached to the arhat are called Hinayana or small vehicle. Nirvana is no longer conditioned. Nirvana with Mahayana ceased to be unconditional. Henceforth the Bodhisattva or Buddha enter Nirvana can put an end to it, coming out of it to help beings to be freed from the sufferings of birth and death. The different schools of Mahayana. From the historical point of view, 2 periods can be distinguished: the era of Indian Buddhism, the era of expansionism. Under the era of Indian Buddhism until the 76th century date of the disappearance of Buddhism in the Indian subcontinent, 3 schools contribute to maintaining the nobility of the Mahayana. The Madhyamaka or the middle way. The Madhyamaka is the middle way between the followers of a good or an eternal soul and the practitioners of nihilism founded by the greatest Indian philosopher of all time, Nagarjuna. This school demonstrates universal emptiness by demonstrating all philosophical phenomena. Yogacara or Vinanavada, initiated by Asanga and his brother Vajrabantu, 3rd century. The Yogacara is a learned analysis of the conditioning phenomena back to the productions of our mind. The Vinayana or diamond vehicle. The Vinayana appeared in the 5th century. This new vision of the Mahayana is founded by powerful techniques of visualizations and magic formulas called mantra to hasten the arrival of the awakening. Under the era of Chinese Buddhism in the year 65 before our era, Buddhism reached the Middle Kingdom, China, according to certain traditions. This Chinese Buddhism is divided into 5 major schools that still exist today: Jingtu or Chan, Amitism or Zen, Tantrism Tibet, Tendai school. Jingtu or Amitism. Jingtu is founded by the teaching of Amitabha, Amida in Japanese, infinite light, an idealized form of the revered Shakyamuni. Amitism professes that in order to escape the world of suffering every person must think fervently to Amitabha. Amitabha resides in the paradise of the earth of the Sukhavati, literally the Blessed One, located in the west according to the Buddhist cosmogony. Chan or Zen appeared in the Middle Empire in the 6th century and reached Japan in the 13th century, where it took the name of Zen. In the strict sense, Chan or Zen refers to absorption, meditation or ecstasy. In plain language, Zen is an intuitive method of spiritual training which opens up the perception of fundamental reality buried in the coins and nooks of spirit. In the philosophy of Zen, one will only attain bodhidharma through meditation. This apart from any sutra. Tibetan Buddhism. After entering the courtyard of Songtsen Gampo thanks to one of the king's spouse, a Chinese Buddhist princess in the 7th century, became a state religion. The Buddhism which prevails in the land of snows, Tibet, is a mixture of Indian Buddhism, Chinese Chan and Tantrism. Tibetan Buddhism is called Tantrism because it is founded powerful mantras revealed in the Wheel of Time, Kalashikra. The Tibetans integrate the gods and demons of the land of snows into Buddhism. The Tantric philosophy of Tibet is founded by the worship of the gods of the hearth, of the house and so on. The Tende school, the phenomenological approach Buddhism or the principle of Ichinen Sanzen Tende, 538–597, established a philosophical system based on the phenomenal world. This teaching, because it is founded by the Lotus Sutra, is superior to all other aforementioned teachings. The principle of Ichinen Sanzen, also called 3,000 worlds in one instant of life, must be understood as follows. The 3,000 worlds refers to the various aspects that life takes on at each instant. At moment of life, one of the 10 worlds or 10 states, thus creating the possibility of the 100 worlds, have the 10 factors and operate within which levels of existence, past, present, future, which results in 3,000 worlds. With regard to this principle, Nichiren Daishonin writes on the attainment of bodhidharma, at all times life included both body and mind, the self and the environment of all sentient and non-sensory beings, plant, trees, heaven and earth, and down to the small speck of dust. In all conditions of life, at every moment, a life penetrates the universe and is revealed in all phenomena. To awaken to this principle is to grasp in oneself this relation. The Soka Gakkai, because it highlights the Lotus Sutra, can be considered as a component of the Tende school by taking certain historical and doctrinal precautions. The Daishonin himself was a monk who studied in a Tende temple,